Good morning, guys. So it's official. Fishing season for 2023 is over. But this morning we're gonna talk about the lures I use for mackerel fishing. Uh, this is the first of the three-part video that I'm gonna be putting out. First part is showing you, like I said, what I use for mackerel fishing. Second part will show you how I make my own mackerel rigs. And the third part is how I attach them to my line before I go out fishing. So right now I'm just showing you the different types of sabikis that you can buy at the store. There are different types, different brands, different prices. It's up to you if you want to go to the higher prices or lower price. As far as I'm concerned, they all work the same way. There are different sizes hooks and different tests on the lines they're attached on. And then of course the rest of it are just like diamond jigs and the hooks that I use, the different size hooks. And then of course my homemade one that's made out of surgical tubing, and the other ones are made out of tensils. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So part 2 will be focusing on how to make this guys here. It's really simple. I already made a video on how to make this guys here, so now it's time to do a video on how to make this guys. They're not really that hard to make and very inexpensive. So yeah, so that'll be part 2. But so here you go, guys. Let's get going. Enjoy the video. Hello, guys. So today we're gonna do a new video. It's gonna be a 3-part series. Basically, the first part is just going through with you what I use when I go mackerel fishing, and the second part will be to show you what kind of lures I make myself. Pretty much like, the Christmas tree rig and the mackerel rig. So I'll show you how that's done. And the third part is gonna be just how I attach them to my fishing rod, my fishing lines. So yeah, so let's get going. So pretty much everything that you see here on the table is things that you can use for catching mackerel. Now, mackerel are probably one of the easiest fish to catch when they're around, and schooling. You can pretty much throw anything out there and they're gonna take whatever falls right next to them. So they're not really picky, but they are aggressive. So they fight each other for the food that's available. So in this what I have here today are like the different kinds of sabikis that you can buy at the store. They're all different kinds, different sizes, different brands. You pretty much have a choice. It's up to you if you want to pay for the higher end brands or if you want to do the cheap ones. They all work. They all work the same way. Some of them actually have like smaller hooks and lighter line. Some goes up to like 10-pound test line, really small hooks, and then there are some that are larger. Like that goes up to a 20-pound test line, which will help you out if you're catching the big mackerel. So, but like I said, there are many different kinds of sabikis. So that's pretty much up to you you can just go to any of your local tackle shop. In my case, I go to Cabela's or Bass Pro, and even Walmart. And you can pick some of this up. Uh, and then you also you can also use like diamond jigs. Like this guy here, I use it for both mackerel and striped bass and blues when the blues are around. And same thing with this one here. I also use this for blues and mackerel. But most of the time, when I'm not using my own homemade lures, I go with this guy's diamond jigs. And there are different sizes. Like this one is a what is this one? This is a half ounce, and this one is a this. Yeah, they're both half ounce. So and pretty much I use this either as a weight for my sabikis, and then of course an extra hook, or if I'm getting tired of catching too many mackerel, I just go with the single hook, single diamond jig, and then it also makes it a lot easier to just release them if you've already caught more than your limit. So that's pretty much it. And then the other ones that I use are, of course, this guys here, which are my homemade lures, which is what I call the Christmas tree rig for mackerel. And then this guys here, which are made of silver and gold tensils. These are the ones that I'm going to show you how to make in a few minutes, or in part 2. Like I said, mackerel are really aggressive and they'll hit just about anything. And you're probably wondering why I have this thing here with all this mackerel lures. The reason I put this in here is just to prove my point that mackerel will take just about anything that you throw at them. And I've caught mackerel just with this. I set up like this with my main line here and this guy's attached to it. But I've had I've had it one time when I had 5 of this guy's set up, and then this one is my weight, and I ended up catching 6 mackerel. Okay, what it is with the mackerel, one of the mackerel would take this, and in that case it actually just went through. After he took it in, it went through his gills and kind of wrapped him. So it's not really an actual hookup, but it was still a catch. So that just proves my point that mackerel are really aggressive and they'll take anything that you throw at them. So another way of catching mackerel is, of course, the old-fashioned, hook and bobber. What you can do is you can cut up one of your mackerel and into little pieces, and just throw it out there with either with or without a sinker, and just watch the bobber. There was a gentleman that was fishing there one day when I was out there, and he was pretty much out fishing me with this setup. But yeah, so like I said, there's just too many ways to catch mackerel. There's no specific way, no special way, no special setup. They'll take pretty much what you offer. So yeah, so it's really simple. I mean, like I said, there are different styles of sabikis. You got this guy here, and then you have this. This one actually has glow hooks on it, and then you got another one right here. I think this one here I actually got from, it's a Bass Pro Shop, and this one here I got from Cabela's, not Cabela's, Walmart. So I think this one here was like on sale for $1.29 a piece, so really cheap. But the problem with sabikis that I've had personally in the past is that the lines are so thin and the hooks are so small that when you hook onto a lot of fish, if you get, like, this thing has 5 hooks, if you hook onto 5 of them and they start swimming around, and especially when you got other fishermen right around you, there's a good chance that your lines are going to get tangled. And when that happens, it's pretty much useless. What you have to do is pretty much just cut your line and cut your losses. The other thing about this is, and I think I mentioned that in my other video, is that if you already hooked a mackerel and a bigger fish come out, like a striper or blues, you're not going to be able to land those fish. They're just too big, and you'll feel it when they take the mackerel and snap your line. So you have to be really careful. I'm not saying that Sabikis don't work, and because they do, and they're very effective. But I still, even though I carry these guys, I try not to use them except for emergency, really. I'd rather go with one of these guys and catch one at a time than catching 3 or 4 or 5, if it's just gonna ruin my day if I get tangled. So, but most of the time, again, I already did a video on this. It's just like a review. Most of the time I use these guys here. These are the ones that I make myself. These are made out of surgical tubings, different colors, as you can see. And what I do is just put on like 5, maybe 4, 5, or 6, depending on how many I want to put on my line, and just alternate the colors, and you're good to go. Very simple to make, and when I do part 2, I'll do a quick review of that. And the other thing that I use, of course, are these guys, which are made of tensils. Now it's funny because I was just putting out my Christmas tree decorations outside, and I was putting out some tensils, and I was like, you know what, maybe at the end of the holiday season I'll just grab some of those tensils and turn them into fishing lures. So I might do that. But this guy's here, this is pretty much what these are my homemade lures right here, and I prefer this guys over all the other Sabikis here, only because I can use whatever hook size I want, and I can use whatever pound test I want for my line. Most of the time I use a heavier line, maybe like a 15-pounder test, or sometimes even 20, only because, like I said earlier, if you hook a mackerel and a bigger fish grabs it, at least that gives you a fighting chance to maybe, if you're lucky, land that bigger fish. But the other thing about this guys here is that unlike Sabikis, most of the time with Sabikis you really need something to you need some kind of a dehooker or a tool to unhook the fish. With this, and most of the time, and a lot of times you probably have to handle the fish also. With this guys here, I don't need to handle the fish. What I basically have to do is, I just to unhook the fish, I just shake him off. Just grab the end of the hook and just shake him off, and you don't have to get your hands dirty. There's nothing wrong getting your hands dirty. We're fishermen, so we're expected to get our hands dirty. However, if you don't have water to wash your hands in, or if you don't have a towel to wipe your hands with, then maybe you can go ahead and just shake him off. But again, you're right there, so it doesn't really matter. If you like handling the fish, great. If you don't, this is a good way to do it. So again, most of the time I use a larger hook, like this kind here. There are different kinds, there are different sizes I use. Here's a 4.0 that I use sometimes, and then I got this one is a 1.0, which is probably what I will use when I start doing the part 2 of this video. And so a lot of times it really pays to make your own rather than buying. Not only that, it's a lot cheaper too. You can make a lot of hooks out of like this guys. So these are the tensils that I use. This is the you got different colors. Like I said, you got the silver, you got this, and then you got the gold, and then you also have this guys here, which is the surgical tubing that I use. So uh, so yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. This is the part one, and like I said, I'll do a part two showing how I make this, guys. Here, it's really easy, it's really cheap, and most of all, it does work. So stay tuned for part two, and hopefully it will help you guys out in making your own. Save a little money, but like I said, more importantly, you will be able to catch mackerel with them. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. You take care, stay safe, and have happy holidays.